Hello and welcome back to this channel, From Recovery to Discovery. My name is John. I'm a human being and your host for today. I do apologize. It's been longer than I would have liked since I've made a video. There's been a lot that's going on in life, and yeah, I've just gotten kind of consumed with that. So it feels really good to be back on this journey with you. And that's one of the really beautiful things about moving from the world of recovery into our own journey of discovering who we are and what we're passionate about and what we want to invest our time and energy into. So today is the introduction video of a series where I'm going to be exploring a book that I've been reading. This book is called The Culting of America by Daniella Mestyanek Youngs, also known as the Knitting Cult Lady on YouTube and Instagram. Definitely suggest checking out her playlist on YouTube about specifically AA, but the 12-step paradigm and how it is a religious cult. I feel like many of the and just a little bit of history about her. She grew up in the Children of God religious cult, and then also went into the cult of the military, and essentially has made her life's work studying these high control groups and others, and writing about them. I've really enjoyed her content, and she wrote another book called Uncultured, which was her memoir about growing up in the Children of God and then being in the military. But The Culting of America is specifically her cult tactics book, and I've found it incredibly interesting. And so one of the really challenging aspects about basically speaking out and dissenting about the 12-step paradigm is that it is not only a religion, even though it's postured as just being spiritual, and this argument is essentially based upon the fact that, because you can come up with whatever higher power you want, it is therefore just spiritual and not religious. But it really fits perfectly into the description of what a religion is. And then it also is a cult. And there are tactics that cults use in order to control their members through words. Cults don't use locks on their doors typically, or put a gun to your head. They use words to trap us in the closed loop of the society. So this is just a introduction video. I'm going to be going through chapter by chapter, and essentially so each chapter, there are 10 chapters, and there are 10 facets of what Knitting Cult Lady postures as the tactics that cults use. So the introduction chapter is called Good Cult, Bad Cult. She writes, "What makes a group a cult, and who decides? There are lots of lists, and they don't all agree. So what about 12-step programs? In this video, I'll compare those 10 characteristics to the rooms. And essentially, there are other channels and other people speaking out about how these programs are religious cults. A lot of you probably already know about Kirsten Johnson's channel, and also Quackaholics Anonymous. Those are two really, really amazing resources that provide tons of information about how these programs are cults. And I haven't actually seen other content that have done this comparison with this book. The book just came out very recently, so I decided to embark upon that journey. I'll also be using information highlighted in the book as evidence against many claims made by steppers, such as, well, even if it's a cult, it has saved millions of lives, or it can't be a cult because it doesn't have leaders, or how could it be a cult? You can leave anytime. There's the door. We're not holding a gun to your head. These are just the same tired arguments that people typically will make in comment sections online, and so I will be using both my own experience and drawing from experiences of friends of mine that have also left, and examples in this book to kind of dash those perspectives into pieces and help us all to wake up and essentially become more free, because this is really all about freedom. And I know that during my time in the rooms, I thought that I was free at the time, and essentially what I realized upon leaving was that I was just as trapped, if not more trapped, than when I was in the throes of what we call addiction or problematic substance use. So that is my whole goal with this channel, is to help those who watch to become more free and to learn to trust themselves and their thinking and their decisions, and step out into their own discovery journey with confidence. So by the logic that I just said, 12-step programs must be good cults, right? Mestyanek writes, we need the idea of a good cult because we can't bear the cognitive dissonance of admitting that one of our oldest, largest, and proudest organizations might also be a high control and high demand institution where group behavior can and does trend toxic. All of us who have been indoctrinated into this paradigm and have left probably could agree with that sentence, right? I know that I do. And so she also writes, I'm stuck wondering if one of the major factors in whether we choose to call something a cult is how socially acceptable or simply necessary we find that group to be. We can more easily overlook red flags the more used to something we are, or the more we think we need it. Cult definitions are more of a sliding scale versus a yes or no binary, she also writes. So, just think about how long these programs have existed. The mid-30s. They are a staple they're essentially an evolution of the temperance movement. And in many, especially in America, when oftentimes just the general public thinks, oh, someone's having like a drinking problem or a drug problem, they should probably go to NA or AA, without knowing anything about the organization and how harmful it can be, and just also like how unsuccessful it is. It works for very, very few people. But that's also shifted back upon us, because if it didn't work, well, I obviously didn't work it, right? So here are the 10 chapters and also the 10 aspects of what Knitting Cult Lady calls a cult. And these are the 10 videos, or I may even do more, that I'm going to make upon this book. Number 1, has a defined charismatic leader. Number 2, requires a shared sacred assumption. Number 3, pursues a transcendent mission so big it justifies sacrifice. Number 4, demands continual sublimation of individuality. Number 5, limits members' access to outsiders. Number 6, creates a private vernacular. Number 7, programs an us versus them mentality. Number 8, exploits members' labor. Number 9, enforces high exit costs. Number 10, justifies extreme behavior as their end game nears. She writes, a cult is both a list of qualities a group possesses and also a journey that the group and its members embark upon. To understand how cults show up in everyday life, we need to expand our mental map. When most people hear the word cult, they picture a doomsday commune in the desert, matching robes, isolation, and a charismatic leader with apocalyptic promises. They're not wrong. These commune cults are real, and some of the most harmful groups in history fit that mold. She grew up in one. But that's not the only way that coercive control works. And it's not even the most common anymore, which is so true. So this is just a short video to kind of jump back in and let y'all know what I'm working on and what I'm going to be picking apart. I'm going to be going through the whole book. I'm going to be relating it back to 12-step programs and just adding my little flavor on how these organizations control us, our perspective of ourselves, our perspective of society at large, and ultimately how we can escape, move on, and discover who we really are and where we want to go. Peace.